Stadium. Ronaldo Cephas has separated these two teams with a fantastic finish to give the Reggae Boys the lead. Lee picking off the pass. Reed. And a free kick for Jamaica. Is that challenge by Phillips, and that might be the last challenge for Phillips, as Kevin Molino is about to make his entrance for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. A out-and-out number 10, and coming in is the new addition. It is going to be Mitchell coming in for Trinidad and Tobago, plays for New York Red Bulls. He's a centre forward, Ralph Mitchell, and coming in for Jamaica, Tyrese Campbell, one of the quickest players on the squad. He's coming from Ronaldo Cephas. Also coming in, Kahim Dixon, coming in for Damari Gray. And the hard man in the middle, Daniel Phillips, will come in for the attacking midfielder Molino, and Mitchell will come in for Dante Seeley. New York Red Bulls 2 player, and Kevin Molino, so one of the youngest players on the TNT squad in Mitchell, and one of the oldest in Molino, with all that experience coming onto the pitch. Little flick. Mitchell trying to use that speed. Here's Blake, who is going to manage the game every time the ball gets into his hands. Russell turning. Referee says play on. Rampasad. Heavy touch by Garcia. And Lee is in his back pocket. First touch for Campbell. Campbell to the byline. Campbell's cross. Well, Tyrese Campbell, who started against Curacao, in Curacao in that 2-0 loss, was then dropped against Bermuda when Jamaica went back home the following match. Gets his entrance tonight in hostile territory. Kevin Molino, who scored against Jamaica in the Unity Cup in England in May, also scored for the Defence Force against Mount Pleasant, Trinidad against Jamaica, in the Caribbean Cup 2 weeks ago. In the semi-final of the Caribbean Cup, Mount Pleasant won that tie. Mount Pleasant plays the final, and Kevin Molino and Defence Force will play for the third spot against Chibao FC in a week's time. So Kevin Molino is in form. Jackie goes outside to Rampasad. Jamaica have their defensive shape, understanding what's at stake. Spicer trying to make a difference. Crowded out. Russell, do Jamaica counter or do they recycle? Out wide. And checking in was Dewan Richards. Dewan Whisper Richards, number 19, on this right-hand side, has checked in for Jamaica. Richards is a Chelsea U23 player and is absolutely deadly in open space. Here's Garcia. Breaking lines, Kevin Molino. Rampasad, 5 Jamaicans back. And the top of the box is a shot. Excellent block by Jamaica, who are staying compact. And going down is Mitchell, no call by the referee. And here is Richards, the Chelsea U23 player. Russell and Richards not on the same page. Steve McLaren, an 18-month journey with his Jamaican national team, has engrossed himself in the culture of Jamaica. He said the food is as hot as the weather. And he loves the people of Jamaica. He loves the smiles, the attitude, and he understands the pain they're going through. Garcia, who's dropping back, and this is going to be a corner kick for TNT. A chance to get numbers forward. It was Mitchell colliding into the back of Isaac Hayden. Actually, it's Pinnock. Andre Rampersad, the threat at the back post. And Kevin Molino. And the assistant referee is enjoying the blade of grass in which the players have to put down in that area. And Kevin Molino is getting... Jackie is getting some housekeeping rules from referee Lopez. Any physicality, the ball is going to go in the other direction. The short read is on Jackie. Molino floated to the penalty spot, out by Lee. Raymond. Molino again, early cross. Good delivery, and the header! Well, one side of the stadium thought it scored, and the other side was disappointed. It was Garcia who stayed up for the corner kick. Got the header at the near post, and it was inches wide of Andre Blake's left hand. Good delivery by Molino, and a thundering header by Garcia. As the closest TNT has come in this second half. Henry. Rampersad. You can see a four-man press by Jamaica. And then they get back the defensive shape.